In the heart of a quiet university town, nestled between ancient oaks and ivy-covered walls, stood an unassuming building that few students ever noticed. It wasn't on any campus map or mentioned in orientation tours. Yet one rainy afternoon, as Daniel wandered aimlessly through the labyrinthine alleys behind the library annex, he stumbled upon it. A small stone structure with a weathered wooden door bearing no sign but an ornate keyhole. Curiosity tugged at him like an invisible thread. He reached out, half expecting the door to be locked, but it creaked open effortlessly. Inside, the air smelled of old paper and ink, mingling with something faintly metallic, like time itself had a scent. The room stretched endlessly before him, rows upon rows of towering shelves filled with books, each spine glowing faintly as though lit from within. A soft voice startled him. "Welcome to the infinite library." An elderly man emerged from the shadows, his silver hair catching the dim light. His eyes twinkled knowingly. "Here, every story exists, even those yet to unfold." Daniel blinked, unsure if he'd entered some strange dream. "Stories yet to happen?" The librarian nodded. "Yes, every possible future is written here. But beware, reading your own story comes with consequences." Ignoring the warning, Daniel's fingers brushed against the spines until one seemed to hum under his touch. Pulling it free, he saw his name etched in golden letters across the cover, Daniel Harper, Volume 37. He opened it hesitantly. At first glance, the pages were blank. Then words began to form, ink bleeding into existence as though scribed by an unseen hand. They described his life in vivid detail, his childhood fears, his secret crush on Clara, even the argument he'd had with his roommate earlier that day. But then came events he hadn't lived yet. Graduating top of his class, traveling abroad, meeting someone named Elena who would change everything. And there it was, the moment that made his breath hitch. A car accident late at night, skidding on wet pavement after leaving Clara's apartment. The book didn't say whether he survived. Panic surged through him. "Can I stop this? Change what happens?" The librarian sighed deeply. "That choice is yours alone. You can try to rewrite your fate or accept it as written. But know this. Altering the script may unravel more than you intend." For days, Daniel couldn't focus on anything else. He avoided driving, canceled plans with Clara, and obsessed over every word in the book. Yet the narrative continued to evolve, shifting subtly whenever he deviated from its path. One evening, while rereading a section about Elena, he realized she worked at a cafe downtown. Against his better judgment, he decided to meet her. She was exactly as described, dark curls framing her face, laughter lighting up her eyes. They talked for hours, discovering shared passions for art and philosophy. For the first time in weeks, Daniel felt alive, untethered from the dread looming over him. But guilt gnawed at him too. The book hadn't mentioned their meeting, which meant he was already rewriting his future. Weeks turned into months. Daniel grew closer to Elena, finding joy in moments the book hadn't foretold. Yet the specter of the accident lingered. One stormy night, unable to bear the uncertainty, he drove to Clara's place intending to confront her about unresolved feelings hinted at in the text. As rain lashed against his windshield, panic set in. Was this the moment? Suddenly, headlights blinded him. Tires screeched. Time slowed as Daniel swerved, narrowly avoiding collision. Heart pounding, he pulled over, trembling. Had he just cheated destiny? Or fulfilled it in another way? Back home, he flipped through the book again. To his astonishment, entire sections had rewritten themselves. There was no mention of the crash anymore. Instead, new chapters unfolded. Adventures with Elena, career successes, challenges overcome. The ending remained unwritten, a comforting reminder that his choices still mattered. Yet when Daniel returned to the infinite library weeks later, seeking answers, the door wouldn't budge. No matter how hard he pushed, it stayed stubbornly shut. Perhaps the librarian knew he'd learned enough, that life's beauty lay not in knowing the future, but in embracing its infinite possibilities. Years later, sitting beside Elena under a starlit sky, Daniel smiled. He never found the library again, nor did he need to. Whatever awaited him next, he'd face it head on, penning his own story, one page at a time.